Hey, I don't know who need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people be talking shit about America. Hey, if you don't like America, go to another country, bitch. I love this country. I'll protect this bitch.
For 75 years, the American taxpayer has been the world's unpaid security guard. We send the money, we provide the nuclear umbrella, we station our sons and daughters on foreign soil to protect borders that aren't our own. But ask yourself, when the threat comes for us, where is the alliance? When we move to neutralize the Iranian nuclear threat, a threat that targets American cities, our allies didn't reach for their checkbooks. They reached for their smelling salts. President Trump just proved that the experts said was impossible. America doesn't need a permission slip from Brussels to defend its own doorsteps. Iran's armor is total rubble, and we did it without a single euro of assistance.
So far, Germany, Italy, and Japan have said they will not send ships to the region.
But in the big picture, this backs up what the president's been saying about our allies in times of crisis.
Well, they fell for the trap because, as the president said during that press conference yesterday, it's almost a test. He goes, do we really need them? No. He goes, but I kind of want to see what they're going to say to us.
If we can secure the Middle East alone, why are we still paying for Europe's defense? Welcome back. Today, we're looking at the physical reality of a post-NATO world. A CNN poll shows 89% of MAGA voters approve of these unilateral strikes.
Okay, MAGA GOP on the U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. Nearly 9 in 10, 89% approve of the U.S. military action in Iran. That is the MAGA GOP base. Just 9% disapprove of it. This is tremendously popular among the Republican base. And of course, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, overseeing the effort. It seems to me that a lot of people are taking that into account, including President Donald Trump, who has been smiling an awful lot at Marco Rubio lately.
Why? Because you're tired of the coalition tax. We were told NATO was a two-way street, but it's been a one-way drain on the American Treasury. While our allies talk about strategic autonomy, we're the ones providing the strategic reality. The decimation of Iran's missile and nuclear capabilities over the last 72 hours wasn't a NATO operation. It was an American-led operation, and it's the most successful kinetic action in a generation. So who benefits from keeping us tethered to a group of nations that take our protection but refuse to join the fight?
We spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help us, I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. I don't need Congress for that decision. As you probably know, I can make that decision myself. I'd work with some very smart people.
The answer lies in the resignation of the NCTC Director, Joe Kent. Joe Kent's departure is being framed by the media as a loss of expertise. I call it a removal of a bottleneck. Kent, a man who knows the cost of war better than most, chose a curious hill to die on. He resigned because the administration moved too fast, too decisively, and more importantly, too alone. Let's look at the record. Kent's office was privy to the data. Iranian nuclear material was being flagged in quantities that suggested a breakout was imminent. And the Iranian foreign minister even admitted they had 440 kilograms and were very close to building 11 missiles.
I never said that we are going to make bombs. I said that we have 440 kilos of 60% enriched material, and that was not a secret. That is what is mentioned in the reports of the IAEA. So I said that, look, this is mentioned in the report. This, if enriched more, can be good enough for 10 bombs, as your own experts claims. So we are ready to give them up, to give them away. We are ready to dilute them, to downblend them into lower degrees. And by saying that, I wanted to say that the concession that we are making is really big. But
Joe Kent chose to downplay that threat. He chose the establishment path of containment. More shockingly, we're talking about a regime in Tehran that remains the #1 state sponsor of terror on the planet. This is a regime that funds the very ideologies that claim the life of his own wife at the hands of ISIS. Yet when the time came to finally wipe out the nuclear and missile infrastructure of the world's primary terror exporter, Kent balked. Now, I'll salute him for his military service. He's been deployed 11 times into combat as a Green Beret. He was also a registered Democrat voter until he took office or took a position in the Trump administration. Is this bureaucracy? Is it so addicted to the process of NATO and attentional norms that they've forgotten the objective? If an ISIS-linked group kills your family and the regime funding that global chaos is finally on the ropes, you don't resign. You finish the job. Trump is finishing it. Kent is stepping aside for the managers who prefer a managed threat to a defeated one. And I think the only good Iran is a defeated Iran. Iran has never lost a negotiation. They've never won a war. But Iran is only half the equation. You cannot kill the snake but just bruising its head in Tehran. You have to cut off the rattles. This brings us to the necessity of the Israeli move into southern Lebanon. I broke that down in my previous video. The invasion to eliminate Hezbollah is the second half of this tactical masterpiece. Hezbollah, for those of you that don't know, 30 years ago, attacked Khobar Towers, a barracks, and they killed a lot, I think 19 American soldiers. You cannot secure the Mediterranean while Iran's primary proxy is still breathing, and they neighbor Israel to the north. They control a large portion of the shoreline in the Mediterranean. If you missed that breakdown on why the Lebanon invasion was the only logical next step to end the terror cycle, click the link here. The era of strategic patience is over. The era of American and Israeli tactical reality is here. I'll see you over there. You take care. See you in the next one. We do live streams every morning on this channel, and I would appreciate you chiming in and giving me your feedback and your opinion in the comments below. Should Joe Kent have resigned? Did he resign because of some ties with Tucker Carlson? Maybe some leaked information? Because that's what it sounds like. That's what it smells like. And if it smells like a dead fish, there's probably a dead fish pretty close by. See you in the next one.